it's a somber day in paradise. Today marks 1 year since the deadliest wildfire in U.S. history killed 102 people on the island of Maui. What you're looking at right now, this video shows of what the fire looked like 1 year ago today. During KPRC 2 Plus Now at 7, we chatted about the recovery process, and these images right here. This is what the island looks like today. KPRC 2 Manager Tiffani Lupenski joins us live this morning from Maui. Tiffani has a home 4 miles north of the burn zone in Lahaina. Tiffani, I understand you're out there this week getting an up-close look at the destruction for the very first time, and then of course you're standing there with the community as one, as they reflect and honor the lives lost, and of course will continue to do so with the difficult task of rebuilding. I know today, Tiffani, is going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be a heavy day for this community, so I want to start there. I want to ask you, what has it been like for you to be back there? What have you seen? What have you felt?
It's been a really interesting week, a lot of emotions, as you would imagine. I did have the opportunity for the first time since the fire to go down into the town of Lahaina, into the burn zone, and drive along Front Street. And it was really stunning just to see how much is just gone. All of the memories and the bustling shops and restaurants and homes, just seeing it up close and personal for the first time was really a remarkable experience. They've done a lot in town to do clearing of the properties, which is obviously the first step towards even thinking about rebuilding. But for as much as they have done, there is still so much work left to do. I mentioned in the last hour, there's about 1,400 residential properties that burned and about 69 businesses. And to put that into a little bit of perspective, they have only issued, I think, about 150 or so residential building permits to even think about starting to rebuild. So there is a lot of work still to be done out here.
With that said, for people wanting to go to Maui, is it okay to travel to Lahaina? Has enough time passed?
Yeah, well, you won't be able to go into Lahaina itself. That is still an area that's blocked off, and only people who were property owners there are allowed in. But Maui's a big island. We're standing where I am at the north end of the resort area known as Ka'anapali, and that is only about 4 miles north of Lahaina. And it's been bustling this week. The hotel behind me, and they had a luau last night. We were at dinner last night in this area, and there are a lot of tourists here, and quite frankly, the island needs it. It has been a real struggle to be missing the tourism from West Maui here since the fire last year. And a lot of people are really suffering economically because of that, because tourism is the top industry out here.
Yeah, the need continues to change for people wanting to get involved with this effort, to contribute in some way, whether it be helping hands or visiting. What would you say is the best way for people to help out?
You have your traditional resources. MauiUnitedWay.org is a great clearinghouse of places where people can go and find specific needs or specific organizations that they might want to contribute to help with the recovery process out here. There are also, we were again at dinner last night and heard of something for the first time, a new effort called Legacy of Aloha that's trying to support small businesses, local restaurants, and really encourage the tourists when they're out here to spend money locally and therefore contribute to rebuilding the economy and helping people get back to work so they can try to rebuild their lives.
Yeah, just incredible work being done. Tiffani, if you and I aren't talking about news, we're typically talking about animals, and I think you might have discussed this with Haley and Amy during the last hour. I have not yet watched that interview. Can you just bring me up to speed on the latest on the homeless population and the cat sanctuary there on the island?
Yeah, so the cat sanctuary itself on the island of Lanai is doing a lot better. It has rebounded a little bit in terms of tourism, and they really rely on that because in-person donations are a huge source of how they keep that sanctuary running. Here on Maui, the homeless animal population, it's been a little tougher. There were a lot of family pets that were lost in the fire, and I mean that both, killed in the fire as well as like literally lost because the families, were scattered to the winds. the Maui Humane Society has done a tremendous job of trying to serve that population. They have partnered with organizations on the mainland to help as many of the adoptable stray animals that were displaced by the fire out here travel to new homes on the mainland. They've worked with organizations in California and Oregon, and so that work continues as well. And they really have done a tremendous job trying to really help both the animals and the families who are struggling with their pets as they try to find housing.
Yeah, we're seeing some of those images right now. Really remarkable stuff. Are we privy to any sort of memorials that will take place throughout the day?
Yeah, so it's a Hawaiian tradition. It's called a paddle out, and that's going to be happening here just behind this hotel that you see behind me is this launching point for, they're going to do a large paddle out today to honor the dead and do some Hawaiian cultural traditions around that event. They're expecting hundreds of people, and so that's really one of the primary events that's going to be going on today, to give people a place to come together and really remember and honor everything that was lost here, and then try to find some inspiration and some hope for the really long road that's still ahead in terms of rebuilding and recovering.
Yeah, reflecting on what once was, and then of course the hope for the future. Tiffani Lupenski live for us this morning in Maui. Tiffani, thank you.